What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Demon Reads Comics. So today we're going to check out Saga. So this one is actually, I know I was kind of against reading like space, interstellar, alien stuff. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of still sort of am. Now, don't get me wrong. I've already finished this book. And what sucks about it is this is book one. It collects the first 18 issues. There's 504 pages in this. And this is just book one. There's still two other books that I got to read to finish the story of what they came out with so far. And I say so far because considering I think they're going to go to 107 issues, which means there's going to be 3 more books of Saga. And I don't know if I'm going to continue reading it. I enjoyed this one so far. We'll go over what this contains, kind of try not to give no spoilers away, but as I was reading it, I kind of was getting over it quick. Like, I enjoyed the story so far, but I was kind of over it kind of quick. And I've only started book one. Like, yeah, it's interesting, but it's not. Like, there's always something going on, right? It's not just like a nice story, a little bit of action, a little bit of this. Like every issue, there's always something going on. Like either they're gonna, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is happening. It's just almost, what do you call it? It's kind of like what's already going to happen before it happens, and that's kind of not my thing. So anyway, we'll talk about the story a little bit, and let's get started with it. Like I said, this is Saga, Deluxe Edition, Book 1. It is written... Give me a second. The writer is Brian K. Vaughan. The artist is Fiona Staples. And lettering and design is by Phonographics. This is published by Image Comics. And you got sewn binding. Like I said, this is the first 18 issues of it. There's 504 pages of it, and it's book 1 of 3 so far. There is trade paperbacks. I don't think there's actually any omnibus with this. I think the biggest ones that you're going to get is the deluxe editions. And like I said, I've enjoyed it so far, but it's not really pulling me into to the point where I'm like, this is freaking amazing. So anyway, let's go ahead and crack this open. I'll tell you a little bit about the story, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, guys, so here it is, Saga Book 1. Let's go ahead and crack this open and talk about what it's about a little bit. So we kind of start off, here's the end pages. I actually kind of like the color of the end page. Actually, don't get me wrong, I like the color of the book itself. This one and the 2 other ones, they stick out a lot considering the color that they used for the actual hardcover. But again, like I said, the writer is Brian K. Vaughan. Artist is Fiona Staples, and it's lettering and design is by Phonographics and Image Comics, the publishers. Right here it tells you the chapters. There is 18 chapters, which I guess you can call it chapters, but it's actually the issues. And then you do got some bonus the process sketches and creators. So what is this story about so far? In a nutshell, it's kind of a little bit too much to talk about. And what I mean by that is you got a story of these two right here. The main story is with these two. This guy's name is Marco. They call him the Horn People. He's actually they call him a Mooney actually, because so long story short, there's this world. It's not Earth, but there's this world called Landfall, and it has a moon. And the people on that moon and the people on Landfall have always been kind of fighting this war with each other. But they came to an understanding that war, whether the Moonies won or whether the Landfall won, if one or the other one got destroyed, their world in itself wouldn't be livable anymore. So they took their war that they're having between the Moonies and the Landfill people, and they're just taking it out. Wherever they see each other, they're just fighting there. They're going to different worlds, fighting there, and just kind of destroying everything they come across. Not one or the other, but just the war in itself is destroying everything that they come across. And so that's kind of the story in this story, like the back half of what's going on. And so this guy, he's a prisoner. There's a certain point where this guy's a prisoner. He was actually, part of the war, but supposedly he became a traitor. I don't know how so he became a traitor, but he got cut. He was a prisoner. This is Private First Class Alana. She's part of the what do they call her? The landfill people, the landfall people, and she was kind of guarding him. And at one point or another, they kind of fell in love. These two are not supposed to be together. They're supposed to be enemies. It's kind of almost like a Romeo and Juliet kind of story, a little bit with that, because they fall in love and they have a child together. That child's name is Hazel. As you can see here, right here, it starts off with Alana giving birth to Hazel. You see a little bit of I'm sorry if that if I'm hoping that I can flip through this quickly and it's not too graphic for you to be like, oh God, okay. So it starts off with them giving birth to Hazel. Hazel's not really supposed to be born, and what I mean by that is, obviously these two are not supposed to be together. They're supposed to be sworn enemies. There's this battle going on with all of their people, between their people, and now they created a baby. They have a baby together that's not supposed to be born, I guess you can say. And so right when she gives birth, these people find them. These people are actually Alana's people. They think that Marco actually captured her and kidnapped her, and they're going after her, to try to rescue her. But that's not the issue. They're kind of like trying to escape, flee, and have their own life. And then what's weird is, not only do you have these angelic winged people from landfill, and you got these horned people like Marco, you got a whole bunch of other different creatures going on in this book. You got these television people here as well. And what I mean by television people, like, they're human bodies, but their heads are televisions. And I guess the more royal you are, the higher up in the ranking you are, the better your television is on your head. It's kind of weird. And I don't know, they kind of serve as a, to be honest with you, I really don't know what they serve, what their purpose of is, in this story. Maybe they're mediators? I don't know. No, you know what? They're actually, in a nutshell, they're actually kind of allies with the winged people, I guess you can say. So yeah, I just don't see the purpose of them being there. I guess when they go to different worlds and they fight their war between the horns and the wings people, they kind of recruit, and whoever goes on which side, I guess it's allied, And so, and then you got the horn people right here. The horn people actually have magic, and so they cast a lot of magic, which wasn't really for me, but I get it. It's already an interstellar type of story, so I guess, right? And here's a monkey person in this world. Right now, they're actually on planet Cleve, and most of the story takes place on planet Cleve. They're trying to, they took over planet Cleve, and they, what I mean by they took over is the wing people took over planet Cleve, and now they're trying. Alana and Marco are trying to find a way off of it to start their family. They don't want their daughter to be here, born in this. Well, she's already born, but to grow up in this planet. So, what's weird is this whole story is actually technically being narrated while you're reading what's going on. It's actually being narrated by Hazel herself, which is also interesting in itself. But what's weird to me is that she is while she's narrating, you kind of read the whole story in itself. So is it her telling the story? Is she remembering everything that these people are saying? I mean, she's just a baby. How is she remembering what this guy is saying, right? She was just born. So that's what the part I didn't understand. But a whole bunch of things happened on this. It went back and forth with a lot of people. I'm gonna try to skip this one actually. There we go. This is another winged person, and he's asking help from this guy, the robots, because I said, they're allied, that they want to bring Alana and Marco back. But no, they don't. They want them to be killed, but they want their baby to be brought back alive. And so that happens in itself. But then another person, it cuts back to Elena and Marco here for a little bit. And there's this person right here. This person's actually kind of cool. His name is The Will, not Will, The Will. And his cat is called Lying Cat. The reason the cat's called a lying cat because it can tell when somebody's lying. If somebody says something and it's lying, the cat will it'll say lying, lying, and that's it. That's all it does. But it's freaking awesome. So this person right here, a horn person, another horn person. So the wing people kind of sought out the robot people to help bring back to bring back Marco and Alana and their baby. Now this horn person is actually freelancing the same thing. They're freelancing that they bring back Alana, Marco, and their baby, or kill them and bring the baby. And that's like, put it this way, everybody is after Alana and Marco and their baby. They want them killed, and they want the baby brought back alive. For what reason, I don't know. Because, they never obviously get to bring the baby back. And what's crazy is, because they're always running away, right? These two are always escaping. And we meet new characters in this. Like, not only do we meet Alana, Marco, and Hazel, we just met the Will and the Lying Cat. Their rings have something to do with this as well. It's just, like, he starts a relationship with Gwendolyn, which is an important person to Marco. Like, it's all intertwined. We get to meet Marco's parents, which is another, crazy thing in itself. What's really, really crazy is we get to meet, they call them the horrors, the horror people. Oh, she's kind of interesting. She's called the Stock. She was actually the Will's love interest for a while, but something happens where they're not together anymore. But these people right here, these people are crazy. What do they call him? They call him the, it says it right here. I know it does. Call them it's horrors. The horrors. I knew they called them the horrors. And it's at first when you hear the stories about the horrors, you think there's some crazy creatures, but actually they're not the horror. Or they're not crazy. They're just, it's a whole bunch of people that have been killed and their spirits are still in this planet, and so that's what they are. And she's actually plays an important part in this book as well. And there's a reason why. Something about her helping Marco and Alana get off this place with the rocket ship. She needs to go with them, but there's only a way for her to go with them. There's an interesting story with that. But as you can see, it's kind of graphic, and she's like missing her body in half. There's nudity in here. There's sex in here. The story is so intertwined that's why it didn't really pull me to the point where I was like, oh my god, I need to keep reading this. Like right now, I'm just reading it to read it because I have it. But it wasn't one that I just wanted to keep reading. It's an interesting story. It really is. But I guess having the whole space thing in the back of my mind just didn't do it for me. And I think that's what really, that's what got to me. But overall, like I said, it's a good story. I want to see where it goes next. It's just, I don't like picking up books where the stories aren't finished. I want to be able to read through everything. But now, I'm only going to be able to go through half of 50 issues, 50-something issues, maybe 55. And I'm going to have to wait until the other ones come out to finish reading it. And I just don't want to do that. I think that's what really kind of turns me down. She's kind of interesting, but not really. I feel sorry for this little girl, and I'm glad he did what he did to help her. But this chick's interesting. Like, you want to hate her, but at the same time, you don't. I don't know. It was weird. I wanted to hate her. I really did. But it was, I don't know. I don't want to speak on that one because whatever way it goes, it's going to go bad. But she's an interesting character. I want to skip that because that's going to give away a plot. But they actually eventually find the rocket ship to get off Cleve. And it's a big old tree-looking thing. And Yeah, I mean, I'm almost halfway through this, and this whole story is still taking place in Cleveland of them trying to get away. In each issue, they encounter something. Somebody's trying to hurt them. Something's trying to fight them, and that's why I said this. It kind of dragged for me, in all honesty, and so I'm just kind of flipping through this so you guys can. Oh, this is when they meet the parents, which is kind of interesting, on why he meets the parents, why they come. And then you got like right here, it's like a flashback of him. What's interesting, real quick, and I want to give this out to you, to you guys that haven't read this, or for those of you that have read this, every single time these people talk in their language is called a blue language. It's really foreign language. Like you do not know what it says. If you're an English speaker, a Spanish speaker, you can be so many different languages that you want to understand this, but it actually is a real language. What I had to do at first is I looked up online. It is a real language. It's called Esperanto. I don't know what that language is, where it comes from, but it is an actual language. So every single time I was reading this, I would type it in my phone to translate it and be like, okay, I see what they're saying. And that was kind of annoying for me. I didn't like that. I didn't like that I had to go back and keep typing in and things like that. It was kind of annoying for me. I think that's what another thing that kind of, got on my nerves about this. But yeah, like, so right here, something happens with that ghost chick that was with them. Something happens to her, and now I'm saying, it's too much of a story. Like, why this? Oh, come on, why this? It gets to a point that they get separated so much. Like, are they even a family? Like, oh my god, it's just so much. But like I said, overall, it's a good story. I'm not gonna, see. This is another flashback right here of when Marco is actually locked up, and Alana goes and talks to him for the first time. Like, I don't know why they didn't do this in the first place and then continue it. Like, it kind of jumps back and forth. But anyway, I'm going to kind of flip through this towards the end of it so you guys can kind of see. I don't want to give the last part of it away. So, right here, to be continued. But you got some sketches here, which is pretty cool. You got all this stuff about the script. I don't really read this stuff. There's a lot of it. That's why I don't read this stuff. There's not even like a color gallery or like an art gallery. It's just like this right here. Thumbnails. These were cool. There's a planet called Sextillion, and those, those were weird. Those were really, really weird. I didn't really want to talk about it because that place is weird. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Pretty much the story of this so far. Let's go ahead and do the review of this and go from there. All right, guys. I know, so we're going to do a review of this. I meant rating of this because we are doing a review of this. So what is my rating of this overall so far? I can only give a rating about this book and this book alone. I can't give a rating for the other ones because I haven't read it. And because I haven't read the other ones, I can't give a rating for the whole story so far. But what is my review, or I'm sorry, I keep saying review. What is my rating for this book so far? I'm sorry for the people that really love this book, but my rating for this is a 6. The art was beautiful. I liked the art. The story was okay, but it was just okay for me. I felt like it jumped around way too much. And not on top of it jumping around way too much, it jumped from past to the future a little bit. Actually, not even really the future, but it just jumped back to the past a lot, given like the past things with Marco and his dad, to what happened here and there. It just I don't like that it did that. And the whole space thing, traveling to this planet, to them always being separated, to something always happening. I get that the storyteller's trying to, tell an interesting story, but it just seemed like something was always happening in every issue, right? It wasn't just like, there wasn't like a calm issue in there. There wasn't like a one that had like full action. There was just like, you already knew what to expect. As soon as you started reading the next issue, you were like, there's something going to happen. We already know it, right? So that's why I'm giving this a 6. It didn't really interest me to the point where I want to keep reading it. Like I said, I'm going to finish the other 3. I might change my mind on them. I'm keeping them. But as of right now, if this was a standstill book alone, I wouldn't keep it. I would give it a 6 and move on with it. I'm glad I read it. It was an interesting story. For those of you that love it, I apologize. It just wasn't for me. So overall, I'm giving this a 6. To recap on this, this is the Deluxe, Saga, the Deluxe Edition, Book 1, published by Image Comics, writing by Brian K. Vaughan, artist Fiona Staples, and the lettering and design by Phonographics. And again, it is sewn binding, which I love sewn binding, but at the same time, I kind of hate it for specific reasons, but that's my own thing. But yeah, I'm giving this a 6 for sure. I'm sorry for the people that like it. But anyway, I hope you guys like this review. If you guys have any comments on it, leave them down below. Maybe I overlooked something that I missed on it. If you guys have any recommendations on books I should read, let me know in the comments down below. I'm still, reading through a whole bunch of stuff. So even if you guys give recommendations, I'm probably not going to pick anything up anytime soon because I have a huge list. I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys did, leave a like in the comments. Or I'm sorry, leave a like. And in the comments, let me know if you guys like this book or if you didn't like this book. I'd really like to know your guys' opinion on this series in itself. And if you guys haven't done so already, go subscribe to my channel. It really helps put my videos out. Not only it helps me, but it helps people actually check these videos out, get, their own, I guess they can form their own opinion on if they want to pick up this book or not. I try to stay away from a lot of spoilers on what happens in this book in itself, because things do happen in this. I just didn't want to give too much away in it. I know I kind of flipped through the pages a lot, but I try to skip some spoilers. But anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Go and check out my other previous videos. It helps out a lot. All that being said, we'll see you guys on the next one.